is on the right. It's not really enough to just be writing about bias and how terrible everything on the left is. You actually have to understand how to write a piece of criticism and understand technical aspects of filmmaking and story structure, that sort of thing.
And also, anyone can start a blog and have a following, right, left, or center, and develop enough of a crowd where they become an influential voice. I mean, there's no one really stopping them from that.
Right.
One of the things I kind of have to ask an obligatory Trump question, and it's been interesting to see Hollywood's reaction, because on one hand I've seen, the Meryl Streep, the hand-wringing, the woe is me, the world is ending, and I've also read some studio executives, I think maybe more on the TV side, saying, hey, maybe we need to reflect on what we're up to. Maybe we haven't covered, Rust Belt America, flyover country as much as we could. What would you like to see in the next couple of years with Trump as president from Hollywood? What would be sort of something positive or even pragmatic about the shift?
Well, I thought this year was actually not terrible in terms of representation of Middle America. Right? You have great movies like Hell or High Water.
Manchester by the Sea is very sort of blue collar to the core.
Right, which is it is a movie that is kind of very much in that Trumpian milieu of white working class folks who feel kind of taken advantage of by the system, who don't think that the elites are looking out for them, et cetera, et cetera. I would like more movies like that. That would if Hollywood could make a series of $20 million modestly budgeted thriller heist really entertaining movies that deal with that milieu, that it's not just it doesn't have to be poverty porn or anything like that. It could just be solid, well-made, entertaining narrative fiction.
You don't want Ryan Gosling playing a New Yorker who writes for a magazine falling in love? Because I think we've seen that more than a few times. I think there are other professions in other cities that we can focus on. But that is the character in Passengers, right? Did you see Passengers? Yeah.
It's the Jennifer Lawrence character is a daughter of a writer who decides she has to flee Earth to get the story of her lifetime for the New Yorker. You can't even escape these tropes in an intergalactic voyage.
And you like that movie too, so
I did. I like that movie fine. I'm one of the few people who liked it.
That's a great point. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about Twitter, because you're kind of a hoot on Twitter, and for people that don't follow Sonny, please do so. He's very entertaining in a number of ways, and you share your work, but you also do a lot of other stuff. Talk about your kind of philosophy behind being on Twitter, and are there times you kind of hold your tongue, or are there things you won't do on Twitter? What's your just overall look at that social media?
My overall take on Twitter is that nothing is too particularly serious on Twitter. Twitter is and this will probably end up getting me in trouble one day, but it's a disposable medium. You were putting flashes of humor or insight or whatever out there that immediately disappear. By design, just kind of float down the page and go away. So it's a medium that works in the moment. Frankly, I should are there things I don't talk about on Twitter? Absolutely. I think anybody who doesn't have that kind of very modest self-censorship, self-preservation voice in the back of their head is really doing themselves a disservice. Because there are, as we've seen in this age of kind of internet outrage, there's no shortage of missteps you can make to get yourself in trouble. But my basic philosophy on Twitter is I am not an important person. And if as long as you kind of accept that, don't take yourself too seriously, and don't take the medium too seriously. This is my problem with the whole tweet storm phenomenon. It tries to kind of codify this idea that Twitter is a medium that is meant to create lasting works, and it is not. It is very much a transitional and transactional sort of thing.
Gotcha. We look ahead to 2017. There are things that I'm kind of psyched about. Particular movies and TV shows. I'm looking forward to a new season of Fargo. But speaking kind of bigger trends, what has you kind of excited about 2017 and beyond? What do you look as an arts critic saying, hey, I'm glad this is happening. Maybe things are frustrating on this end, but by the same token, we've got this to look forward to.
I don't know. I have found myself watching less and less TV recently. We're in this supposed golden age of TV, I can't like bring myself to make time for so much of it. I still watch The Walking Dead. I still watch basically everything on HBO, like every HBO dramatic series I watch. And I'm looking forward to this new Tom Hardy show on FX, which I have no idea what it's about. It's like Tom Hardy in old-timey England, and he wants to get revenge against people. But I would watch Tom Hardy like stand on screen and just talk into the camera for 45 minutes a week. So I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, you're not alone in that too. So he's a great actor.
Yeah, but there's just so much stuff out there. It's I saw a study the other day that there's more. Well, obviously there's more, but like there's just so much scripted television that it is impossible to consume all, or even like a significant percentage of it. I don't know how the professional critics at Variety and the Hollywood Reporter and elsewhere make the time to see all this crap.
Yeah.
It would drive me crazy.
I've got content guilt, which I want to coin because I feel guilty for all the great shows that I'm missing. I just don't have the time. But one of the themes that you've covered is sort of the political correctness, and obviously you can draw a parallel to Trump and the fact that he doesn't have a filter, and that's exciting, even if he says crazy things. Do you think that we're turning a corner on political correctness when it comes to the arts? I mean, I've spoken to liberal entertainers, and they seem frustrated. I saw Patton Oswalt recently kind of was aghast that Steve Martin was taken to the woodshed for something he said. And have we reached a tipping point, or is it still going to keep on for the foreseeable future?
I think it will continue on for the foreseeable future. I mean, what you have to remember is that all of these Twitter is best understood. This is my actual philosophy of Twitter. Twitter is best understood as a series of like barely overlapping social circles. So you have like politics Twitter, you have film Twitter, sports Twitter, Black Twitter, whatever, and nothing goes truly viral until it starts hopping across those circles, until you start seeing it kind of populating in all these different areas. And one of the things that goes viral is outrage. One of the things that is a surefire way of garnering retweets and likes and faves and shares and blah 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 is getting angry at somebody and getting others to be angry at them with you. So this idea that political correctness is going to go away strikes me as hopelessly utopian, because all of our incentives are aimed at getting people angry and keeping them angry.
Yeah. Well, that sounds both accurate and depressing. But before I let you go, Sonny, I often like to ask guests some of their kind of tips and advice for shows and movies and albums that, listen, we all know we're going to watch The Walking Dead and the new Tom Hardy show like you mentioned, but have you seen or watched or read things recently that you really love that you kind of want to give a little attention to that maybe kind of dipped below the pop culture radar?
Let's see, what would I say? Honestly, I'm having trouble thinking of anything. I just saw Silence, which I think is great, but I don't know for sure. I need to see it again. Below the radar. No, I got nothing for you, man. I'm sorry. I'm totally spacing on anything that's not like super mainstream right now.
That's okay. It's funny whenever
BoJack Horseman. How about that?
Excellent. That's perfect. It's funny, whenever I'm at like a cocktail party or any kind of event and someone always asks me what films are out there that you can recommend, my mind immediately goes blank. And it's actually embarrassing. But, well, Sonny, I love your stuff. I keep up the good work. And before we let you go, where can people find you? I know you're kind of here, there, and everywhere, but where's the prominent places people can find you?
Sure. My main home is the Free Beacon. It's freebeacon.com. I also do a weekly podcast with Victorino Mattis and Jonathan D. Last. That's called the Substandard. Just search the Substandard on iTunes under the podcast. Make sure to search under podcast, because apparently there's a band called the Substandard.
We'll have to have them on someday.
And on Twitter at Sonny Bunch, SonnyBunch. That's where I spend most of my day.
Alrighty. Well, Sonny, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it, and hope to chat with you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.